I'm Dick Kienitz. I live here in Spring Green, Wisconsin, in the town of Wyoming, county of Iowa, southwestern Wisconsin, in the beautiful driftless area with my dear wife Kim, son Eric, daughter Shannon, and we raise grass-fed beef. We've been raising grass-fed beef as our principal enterprise for nearly 20 years. Take a look at this mix of forage. We've got grasses and clovers. Look at the clover stand up tall. It's so lush. It's different than grasses. Grasses' leaves go straight. They get warm and dry in the summer. Clover, on the other hand, has a prostate leaf, and underneath, even till mid-afternoon in the summer, you get condensation on the bottom part of the leaf. And so when you grab these leaves and you feel them in your hand, it's cool. It's cool and moist. And this is exactly what the cattle just love. A managed grazing farmer's day can be very different from a conventional farmer's day in that there may not even be any machine started on a given day. Our job is to monitor the grass growth, to look at the livestock, take some time to listen to the birds. We have over 80 species of birds on our farm in the early summer. In unmanaged or extensive grazing, livestock continue to walk a pasture to find the best plants. And they'll bite that same plant over and over again. They might bite it every day for a month. If they're in the south end of the farm, they'll bite the same pasture plants every day, and pretty soon that plant, without its photosynthetic factory, no leaf, starts to succumb. And those that are more robust, the plants that the cattle don't like, get tall, now outcompete for sunlight and water and nutrients, and they become dominant. Those are thistles, for example. I guess everyone has their own relationship with the spirit, and something that's magical to them. And this land holds a mystery and a beauty and a peacefulness for me that captures my imagination.
Come on, Buzz. Come on, Buzz. I've been farming for 12 years. I started conventionally. I had cows in a stanchion barn, and we took all the feed to the cows in the barn, and then after the cows got done with their business, we carried all the manure away at the end of each day. After about 7 or 8 years, that got kind of tiring, so we decided to try something different. Dick Kienitz convinced us to try rotational grazing. So we tried it at the farm, and the old farm, and it seemed to work real good. It was much less stressful than the conventional way of farming. Grass is a real high quality feed, so compared to stored feed, we don't need to buy as much purchased protein, so our feed cost is lower. Cows are very healthy on pastures. They tend to live much longer than in a confinement system, so we have very few vet bills. It takes less machinery to harvest crops for the cattle. Those are just some of the ways that save us cost. We had 10 to 12 inches 2 times, a couple days apart. A lot of the row crop farms nearby, I noticed they had ditches and erosion washed in their cornfields that was very significant. Our pastures stood up to those rains real good. They looked the same pretty much after the rains as they did before the rains. Hardly any erosion whatsoever. The pastures don't require much fertilizer either, because, well, the animals, when they're out here all the time, they put the manure back, so it's kind of a recycling, regenerative process. We can see a difference in the height of the grass here from yesterday's grazing to today's grazing. This orchard grass here is, just right around a foot tall, and when they get done grazing it, we're looking at about a 5 to 6 inch height there.
My name's Mike Gingrich. I'm owner and cheesemaker for Uplands Cheese. We're a farmstead cheese operation in Dodgeville, Wisconsin. And we make just one cheese, single cheese, called Pleasant Ridge Reserve. And it's a seasonal cheese that's made from May through October and then cave aged in these caves and shipped when it's anywhere from 4 months all the way up to 18 months. The uniqueness of a farmstead operation are a couple things. Number one, we can manage the cows for milk flavor. You can't do that if you're buying your milk from tanker loads because you don't have a say-so in how the cows are managed. So we can control the milk supply all the way from how the cows are fed and housed and managed from birth through till they leave the farm. So we do rotational grazing. The cows are out on pasture all summer long, and their principal feed, about 80% of their diet, is fresh grass. That has a lot to do with the flavors that we get in the cheese. The cows are not pushed. The amount of milk that we get from these cows is probably half of what those cows would be expected to produce in a confinement operation. The cows get a lot of exercise. They're outside all the time. They eat exactly what they want. When we turn them out, they'll take a bite of grass and 2 or 3 steps and another bite of grass, and they're out there seeking out the tastiest forages in that pasture. The rotational grazing, my partner Dan Patnott and I bought this farm to rotationally graze a larger herd. We both had smaller farms with about 30 cows each. And now we laid this farm out for 200 cows. And we wanted to do rotational grazing on a larger scale. It appealed to us because managing cows or producing milk this way is easier on the land, certainly, and easier on the animals, and easier on the farmer.
I'm on the steering committee for the School for Beginning Dairy and Livestock Farmers, which is the grazing school in Madison. And I got involved because I believe in what they're trying to do. They're trying to encourage people to fundamentally change the way they farm, to bring in more managed grazing. And from an environmental standpoint, from a fishery standpoint, the managed grazing systems answer and address most of the concerns that I have with the conventional system. Here's some signs of a healthy stream. We've got some nice vegetation here on the bank holding this bank back. You've got the watercress here. There's actually a space underneath the watercress, so you'd have a trout that would lay up underneath the watercress. With the riffle here, this is going to be the area that's going to be carrying the food items, so insects would be drifting down. Trout could dart out, grab that food item, back up underneath the cover, and be safe up underneath the watercress. If you look at a well-managed pasture, the vegetation is high, we don't have the sediment runoff. The manure, there's not storage facilities, so we don't have manure runoff issues like liquid manure. We don't have pesticides, herbicides, all of the other issues that we have with a conventional system, we don't have with a well-managed grazing system.
This is why we do this. You know, we want it to be extraordinary for the citizens of Wisconsin. We want to see the water leave our farm cleaner than when it comes on, and that is a responsibility and really a blessing that we accept.